Welcome to the Budget Boss Pro tutorial. To get started, you first need to set up your budget on the Monthly Dashboard tab. Starting with the Income section, enter all your income sources and put the expected monthly income in the Budget column. Next, add your bills. This section is for recurring costs you pay on a regular schedule, such as rent, utilities, and debt payments. Enter your bill names, due dates, and the amount you expect each bill to be. Next, add your expenses. This section is for variable costs that aren't paid on a fixed schedule. Enter your expense subcategories and the amount you plan to spend in each one. And lastly, add your savings and investments. Enter here whatever you're saving for or investing in, and put the amounts you plan to contribute here. Next, set the month and year. The month and year settings control which transactions are transferred to the monthly dashboard from the transactions log. The dashboard will only transfer and calculate the amounts in the transactions log that are in that month. You can also set the currency and color. The actual column in each of the main category sections tracks the actual amount for each subcategory for the set month. These totals are based on the transactions entered in the transactions log, and they update automatically as new transactions are entered. This section at the top of the dashboard shows a visual comparison of the total budgeted amount versus the actual amount for each main category. The bills breakdown and expenses breakdown charts break down each category to show each subcategory's share of the total cost. The Where's My Money Going chart breaks down all spending and shows where the money is going and each category's percentage share. The Chart View setting controls which numbers the charts reflect, the budgeted amounts or the actual amounts. The Cash Flow Summary table shows a quick overview of the total for each main category, budget and actual, and the amount left to spend. If you'd like the amount you'd left to spend from previous months to roll over to the current month, just click the checkbox next to Rollover, and it'll be included in the current month's budget. If not, just leave it unchecked, and each month will start at 0. Next, let's set up the Account Tracker tab. If you'd like to link your transactions to specific accounts so you can track their balances, you can enter your accounts here. Enter your account info, account name, type, and starting balance in the first 3 columns of the table. There are 5 account types, and you can select them from the drop-down menu. For the credit card account type, please only add accounts for credit cards that you actively use and pay off every month. If you have a fixed amount of credit card debt that you're working to pay off, please use the Debt Tracker tab to track that debt payoff. The 3 columns on the right half of the accounts table track the total cash inflow, cash outflow, and current balance of each account. These figures are based on the transactions entered in the transactions log, and they are updated automatically as new transactions are added. This table shows the total balance currently in each of the 5 account types. And this pie chart shows how your funds are distributed across all your accounts. This tool allows you to view the transaction history for any of your accounts. Just set the start date, end date, and account name, and the table will populate with all the transactions within that date range that are associated with that account. Next, let's head over to the transactions log. To track your finances, please input all financial transactions into the transactions log. To enter a new transaction, simply enter the date, amount, main category, and subcategory. If you're using Google Sheets or Excel Online, you can select a date by double-clicking on the cell to use the date picker. Otherwise, you can just type it in manually. You can link your transactions to specific accounts by designating where the money came from and where it went to. For many transactions, only one of your accounts will be involved, in which case you can leave the other account space blank. Let's look at some specific examples and see how to correctly log transactions and link them with accounts. First, here's a transaction where the internet bill was paid for with a credit card. So the credit card is entered as the from account, and the to account is left blank. Next, here's a contribution to a vacation savings fund, where the money was moved from a checking account to a savings account. This transaction is for a paycheck deposited into a checking account. This transaction only affects one account, so only the to account is filled and the from account is left blank. And lastly, this transaction is for a credit card balance being paid with money from a checking account. Because this transaction constitutes an internal transfer of funds that should not be factored into the budget, the main category selected is Internal Transfer Non-Budget. Let me explain this in a bit more detail. In the main category drop-down menu, the first four options match the main categories used on the monthly dashboard where you set up your budget. For transactions affecting your budget, income, bills, expenses, or savings and investments, simply select the appropriate main category and subcategory. The last two category options in the list, Internal Transfer, Non-Budget, and Balance Adjustment, Non-Budget, are for transactions that affect account balance levels but should not factor into the monthly budget. Some possible examples of this transaction type include deposit or withdrawal from bank account, simple transfer of funds from one account to another, payment of credit card balance, general balance adjustment due to gains or losses in an investment account. When entering a transaction of this type, select either Internal Transfer, Non-Budget, or Balance Adjustment, Non-Budget as the main category and leave the subcategory blank. For any bills or expenses you pay for with a credit card, it's recommended you track them in the following way. Record each expense individually with the credit card set as the from account, and then later when you pay the credit card balance, record the payment as an internal transfer, non-budget. This way, the credit card account balance will be accurately tracked and the expenses being paid for will not be double counted in the budget. Next, let's take a look at the calendar. The bills from the monthly dashboard are automatically transferred to the Calendar tab. On the calendar, unpaid bills are light gray. When a bill is paid and checked off in the Bills section of the monthly dashboard, the calendar updates accordingly, and the paid bill on the calendar turns dark gray and gets a check mark. This table allows for the adding of more items to the calendar. To add an item to the calendar, just enter it in the table with the day of the month you want to schedule it on. As you complete items on the list, you can click the checkbox to cross them out. To reset the checkboxes quickly, you can click the checkbox at the top if you're using Google Sheets. If you're using Excel, just highlight the checkboxes and hit the spacebar. And you can do the same to uncheck the bills on the monthly dashboard. Next, let's check out the Annual Summary tab. The Annual Summary provides an overview of all income and spending throughout the year. The year reflected on this tab is based on the year setting on the monthly dashboard. This table gives the totals for all main budget categories over the year. This chart gives a breakdown of where your income goes each month. And these two charts break down the bills and expenses over the year to show each subcategory's share of the total cost. This table provides a summary of each month's cash flow over the course of the year and calculates the totals of all categories at the bottom. You can also control whether the left to spend amount each month is rolled over to the next month by clicking the checkbox next to Rollover. This tool allows you to view the monthly totals for any specific category. Just set the main category and subcategory, and the table will show an overview of the financial activity in that category throughout the year. To use the debt tracker, start by going through the quick setup process. First, set the start date. Next, enter your debt info. The debt names are pulled from the bills entered on the budget dashboard, so just use the drop-down menus to select the debts you want to track. Then, in Step 3, the setting for Extra Monthly Payment allows you to set an extra amount you plan to pay each month on top of the minimum so you can pay off your debt faster. In Step 4, the debt payoff strategy you choose affects how your debts are prioritized and which ones get paid off first. If you need help deciding which option to use, you can try each one and compare the overviews generated below. This table is automatically generated and gives you a comprehensive overview of your debt payoff plan, so you can easily see when each debt will be paid off if the plan is followed. The Payment Plan Lookup tool allows you to look up and view the payment plan for any particular debt. Just select the debt from the drop-down menu, and all payment plan info for that debt will be immediately displayed. With the Payment Adjustments tool, you can make adjustments to your extra payment for any given month. This tool allows you some extra flexibility as you can make adjustments to the extra payment amount for any month along the way. So, if there comes a month where you'd like to raise or lower that extra payment amount, just come to this table and enter the month, year, and adjustment amount, and your payment plan will automatically adjust accordingly. The Debt Dashboard allows you to monitor all your planned monthly payments and track your progress. To begin, set the dashboard to the correct date. To do so, just click on the down arrows and select the appropriate month and year from the drop-down boxes. What month and year is selected affects the monthly numbers shown in the table below. As you move through your payment plan, update the month and year at the start of every new month so you can see your planned payments for that month and track your progress. This portion of the dashboard tracks all important information regarding your payments and payment plan. The table organizes itself so all paid debts are automatically moved to the bottom and crossed out to make it easy to see which debts you have left to pay. The monthly portion of the table shows you the planned payment for each debt for the selected month, tracks how much you've paid toward each debt for that month, and shows you how much you have left to pay to meet your planned amount for the month. When you pay a debt's monthly payment, you'll get a check mark in the paid column. The total section of the table tracks the total amount you've paid towards each debt, the remaining balance, your overall progress on each debt with the progress bar and percent paid column. If you miss paying any of your planned payments in previous months, the rollover unpaid debt column will track the amount you missed. At the top is a set of charts to help you visualize your progress. This chart shows your total progress, with a percentage of your total debt you've paid so far. This graph shows progress bars for all your monthly payments. The gray part of the columns is the unpaid portion of your planned monthly payment, and the blue shows how much you've paid during the current month. And this shows each debt's percentage share of the total debt. To see more information from this chart, just click on it and hover the cursor over the wedges, and you'll be able to see the debt name, balance, and percentage for each wedge. To use the Sinking Funds tracker, enter your sinking funds in this table. The Saving For and Savings Goal columns are for the name of the sinking fund and the total savings goal. If you already have some money saved for the fund you're setting up, you can put that amount in the Start Amount column. The start date is the day you set up the sinking fund, and the end date is the date by which you plan to complete your savings goal. In the Payment Frequency column, you can choose how often you want to contribute to each fund. A fund's total savings goal is divided into multiple, smaller amounts for you to add to your savings over time, and you can choose to make payments on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. The payment size setting determines how the size of the payments are calculated. The All Equal option divides the total savings goal evenly between the payments, so all payments are equal. With the Increase Gradually option, the payments start out small and gradually increase in size. On the Savings Dashboard, each sinking fund has its own section. The name of the sinking fund is at the top. Under that is the line chart that shows your total progress, with the total amount saved displayed below it. Under that, you can see the total savings goal, the percentage of the savings goal completed, how much you have left to save to reach your savings goal, the amount of time left before the end date. Below that, in the bottom portion, you can see the info about where you currently are in your savings plan. When you set up a sinking fund, the total savings goal is broken up into multiple, smaller amounts for you to add to your savings over time. On the Savings Dashboard, the level shows what phase of your savings plan you're in. Each level has its own mini savings goal, and after you reach it, you move to the next level. You can see here the current level, the savings goal for that level, the amount you've saved towards the level savings goal, the amount you have left to save to reach the next level, the progress bar, and percent complete for the current level. To start using the net worth tracker, set the year and your net worth goal. Next, enter your assets. There are 4 different subcategories of assets, each with their own section. Enter the name of the asset in the leftmost column of the table, and then enter the value of the asset in the column of the current month. You can update this monthly to track the value of each asset. At the bottom of each table is the total row, which shows the total value of the assets in that table for each month. And the rightmost column, the growth column, shows the growth of each asset's value since beginning. Next, enter your liabilities. There are 3 different subcategories of liabilities, each with their own section. Just like with the assets, enter the name of the liability in the leftmost column of the table, and then enter the value of the liability in the column of the current month. You can update this monthly to track the value of each liability. After you're done setting up, update the spreadsheet once a month by entering the current value of each asset and liability, and the dashboard at the top will automatically track your progress.